everyone, my name is Kim Oliver and I am from KO Creations Cards. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm here today to share with you some products from the new catalogue, 2017 and 2018. That's how long this catalogue runs for. There is some stunning things inside this catalogue. We'll be working today with some DSP and it's called Fresh Florals Designer Series paper. We'll be working with a new in colour, Berry Burst, as well as another new in colour, Lemon Lime Twist. Those two colours together look absolutely divine. That's just my opinion. This is what we'll be making. We'll be making this little card. I haven't actually got a sentiment on it yet, but we will put one on during the course of making this. Okay, we're about to get started. First up, we're going to create our front. I've already got my piece cut, and it is being cut, and I've got my piece of paper upside down, so I can't tell you what it's been cut to. So we'll go, it's being cut to 14 by 9.8 millimeters. This has just been a piece of A4 folded in half and then cut at 10.5. So I'm going to glue this to the front straight away, and this is our card front. If you've got a little edge, it's easier to glue sometimes and quicker than it is to use tear and tape. The trick is not to have too much glue, because too much glue will make the card go all wavy. Now I think I've got that in a pretty good position. Flatten that down. Make sure there's no little spots of glue sitting where it shouldn't be. And that's our card front. We'll pop that off to the side. Now we're going to work on our background. Now I've die cut an oval in the stitch shapes here, and then in the largest scalloped from the layering ovals. So we've got stitch shaped oval and a layering oval, the largest one. I have got here a stamp from this little thing called Background Bits, and this is this stamp here. So we'll just pop that here out of the way. What I'm going to do is use Berry Burst on top of the Berry Burst oval here. Now I'll have to stand up to do this, just so I can line them up a little bit. I'll start off to the side but in the centre, and I want to try and meet these as best as possible. It's not as easy as it looks. There we go. Now I'm not too worried about little bits that might be left. That just adds to the texture. When that's done, we're going to glue this to our oval. Just like so. Oops, there we go. I didn't put much on there and it's not sticking very well. Well, it's sticking quite well actually, a little bit too well. There we go. Now we're going to move on to our daisy flower. We're going to use our daisy punch here to make it, and we're also going to use our Blossom Builder punch. Now what we need from the Blossom Builder punch is just this little piece here. So we're going to pop this corner in and pop him out. I've already got some cut, so I don't need to have any more. Now Most people would have a scoreboard. Whoops, there goes my seat. And your scoreboard will have this little tool here, and it's got nice little bald ends. We're going to use something similar to this to make our flowers with. We're going to use flower making tools. So they just have a slightly larger ball. These ones have really tiny balls on the other end. This brand is McGill. Here. And there's the other sizes. So we've got a large, medium, small, and then we've got small, smaller, and smallest. And of course a tweezer. You need a mat to work your flower with for the layers. And we're going to, after we've punched our daisy, put him off to the side, we're going to make our daisy punch look like this. Now I've used a mixture of lemon lime twist and berry burst to get this effect, and daubers. I've used daubers. So we'll put our stamp off to the side, open our ink, put our dauber next to each one, open our ink, put our dauber in. Now the object here is just to colour the centre with the lemon lime twist. So we're just going to load up our dauber, circular motion, taking it down onto the petals a little. You can see from my fingers I've done quite a few already. I'm actually making these for a card swap, and we're all making, there's 10 of us in the group, and we're all making cards, 10 cards each, 11 if I wanted to keep one just as a reminder of what I made. And we're sending them as samples to use in our classes and just ideas that we can give our customers and ourselves too on how we can use some of the products that are in the new catalogue, and I think it's a fabulous idea. So what I'm doing here is I'm just making the ends of the petals green. See? Now I'm going to move on to the berry burst colour. Now I'm going to load up my dauber. I don't know if you can see, so I'll move that in a bit closer. Load up my dauber, put it on its side, and just touch the side around, because we don't want too much colour to start with. See the effect we're starting to get? Now we're going to do it the other way. We're just going to pull the colour out now, down. We're not reloading our dauber at all yet. See how we're pulling the colour towards the end of the petals. Now I'll reload the dauber and we'll darken up the centre. And this is basically how I do my Gerbera daisy colour. And again, load it up onto the side. It's a process. Any colouring is a process, and it's something that you can't rush, because if you rush it, you ruin the effect. Now we're just rubbing backwards and forwards, spreading the colour. And now we'll pull the colour out towards the end of our petal. And again, we'll darken up the centre. And just to finish these, I'm going to use the lemon lime twist one last time, right in the centre. See how that actually wipes some of the centre colour from the berry burst away, and it gives her that green feel. There we go. So we'll shut them for now. Now you remember I cut a piece of card with lemon lime twist. Well, I've got a few more, so I need 2. What we're going to do now is shape our little flowers. We'll take this out of the way. We use our flower shaping tools, and here, as I mentioned, you can use your scoreboard tool. Now to shape a flower, you need to go in a circular motion and start from the outside. So this is the front, this is the back. I want my petals to curl up and out. So we'll start on the back, and I'll just circular motion like so. And this is the little tool from our scoreboard, our Stampin' Up scoreboard. And for tiny little flowers, it's got a nice little ball on the end, not bauble, which is perfect. Now, if you do what I just did then, you can't go backwards and forwards. Your petal won't curl. You have to start from the outside and work your way in. If you go out, it won't curl. So we'll start from the outside and work our way in. Then we'll turn it and put it aside. We'll do one more. We want our little petals curling up on this one. This is the centre of our flower. Here and here. Now if you wanted a stiffer flower, what you can do is just some water here, and you hold it, and you gently spritz it with water. Then you work it. It is harder to work when they're wet. It grabs the little metal ball. Okay, and then you set that aside, and that the little bit of water that you've spritzed on your flower makes your flower stiffen when it dries. Now I've turned my flower over this way. You can see where I just spritzed the water. Gives a lovely effect. Whoops, come back here, dauber. Excuse me for sniffing. Now we're going to work these flowers here. Because the petal's a little bit larger, we're using the bigger ball. People can use marbles to do this. If you've got a marble, you can use the back of your tool here, your paper piercing tool. Any slightly domed edge is good, but a decent flower making kit is a must-have for creating depth and movement for your flowers. See how we've curled that? Now we're going to turn that over, pop him out a little, squash, 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 and just open him up. We're going to do that in the centre so it lifts flowers up. See? Now for the underside, we don't want this quite as deep. So what we're going to do is just turn him over again and do a little roll in, just like so. 1, 2, Well, it's 4 actually. I missed one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We pop him over again. And here's flower petals. They won't. Pop him here. See the difference? Put my little tools away. Now what we're going to do is put our flowers together. I have used for the centre of my little flowers here faceted gem. These are also available in the new catalogue. You can get them in gold, like so, or silver. And today I'm using silver. Now I'm using tweezers and my paper piercing tool and glue dots. Glue dots are absolutely awesome. So what we're doing is we're getting our little one and we're just going to pop that on the back. Get our tweezers, pop it so the petals are opposite each other, so they're not on the same angle, I should say. I'm trying to keep that in shot for you. Okay, just make sure that's pushed together firmly. We're going to get our faceted gem. We're going to pop him in the centre like so. And that's our centre for our flower. Now we're going to get another glue dot. We're going to put that on the bottom of this. Offset our petals like so. Push that together. Another glue dot on the back of our little flower centre, and we're just going to pop him right in there like so. Now our little front that we did earlier, we're going to pop this up on a dimensional, just one right on the back, and we're done. Pop him sort of central like so. Okay, now we've got our card front, we've got our focal. Now I've added a piece of ruched ribbon in lemon lime twist. Now you can ruche your own ribbon. It is really easy and it can be a little bit time consuming. Cut your ribbon like so. Pull the end away until you get threads. Now, I get a little bit all thumbs here, so to make life easier, I cut off that piece. Keep pulling a bit more out. When you've got a bit more out, find a thread. You only need one. I think I've got 2 there, but the more threads you have, the harder it is to pull. So you really do only need one if you can only get one. And then you've got to really pinch it. And try not to grab any others. And move it down the ribbon. Like so. It is moving, I promise. Might just snip one of them. So I only want one. There we go. The further down the ribbon you get, the easier it is. She says. So I've done one, I've done 2, there's another one I've done. My fingers are a little bit sore. As I mentioned, I've got 10 of them to try and get done. we're getting somewhere now. Yes, here we go. So we're working our way down the ribbon, holding this here and making a ruche or a nice gathering. I love a gathered ribbon, it looks gorgeous. And this is pretty easy once you get it started. Getting it started is the tricky part. Now we want to get as close to the end as possible, leaving about a 2 centimetre piece that's not ruched, like so. Yeah. And we want to gather it up. We want to pull that out straight because we don't want too much ruching underneath our actual piece here. Now I'm going to snip, nice sharp scissors, so we have a nice neat end. Okay, now we're going to use our glue dots. Glue dots. I love glue dots. I love the daisy too. This daisy is absolutely amazing. It's from the Delightful Daisy Suite, which is also available in the new catalogue. So basically what we do is we just pop that here, and I'm going to overlap that here like so, just to pull it back a little. Pop another glue dot in the centre here, and one over this side like so. And just to make sure it sticks, I'll pop, did I pick it up then? No, I didn't, it stayed on the paper. Pop one here. Now as long as you don't go pulling and poking at that, that will stay in place quite well. Now I'm going to cut that off level with the card like so. I can hear the TV in the background, the kids have left the telly on. I'm going to trim that down just a little bit more. There we go. A bit of a control freak issue there. Now what I'm going to do is pop this up on dimensionals. Now I've trimmed all around the edges of my dimensionals. Always do. I love dimensionals. Dimensionals are the best invention ever. And I use lots of them. Probably more than I probably should. But I like my work to be nice and even without any wavy bits. I don't like wavy bits. So we've got that. We're going to pop one here, one here. Now, these are what these little bits are for. Here and here. And pop them around the outside. And there's one that decided to avail himself to a big one. And just because I can, I'll pop one in the middle too. Pop that out of the way, peel these off. Now, for a sentiment for my card, what should I do? I've been thinking about that. I am really not 100% sure whether to put a little, here we go. I'm just going to pop that like so, about there. And we've got a nice little ruche. Piece of ribbon. Don't mind me, I'm a bit of a control freak, as I mentioned. Okay, now a sentiment. As I mentioned, I've been thinking about it, and I like little banners, I really do. Now, there's what is in the background bit, stamp set. There's a thank you, and you're always so thoughtful. The thank you would be a bit large, I think. I want something a little bit smaller. So we've got Happy Birthday Gorgeous. That's another lovely set. And it's got a couple of little ones in here. We've got Celebrate and Forever Young. I love that with Daisy. Forever Young. Reminds me of a Daisy, that little saying for some reason. So we'll pop that out. Now I'm going to stamp Berry Burst onto Lemon Lime. And I have no idea what it's going to look like. We'll line him up. Using our lines underneath as a guide. Put it down here. Clean off a little bit of extra ink that popped on there. I pushed that a little bit too hard into the ink pad, didn't I? You should know better, Kim. Alright, Forever Young, here we go. We'll go about there. That looks pretty cool. We'll top him off. Like so. Now we're going to make a little banner. Just by chopping into the side. From this corner into the centre. From that corner into the centre. Like so. Make that about there, I think it was, roughly. From this corner into the centre. Like that. And like so. And that finishes that card absolutely beautifully. What shall we attach it with? A little bit of Fast Fuse. I love Fast Fuse. I hated it when I first started using it. There we go. We'll pop that right there. And that is our finished card. What do you think?